You didn't stumble on this message by accident. There are no coincidences, only divine timing. The fact that you're seeing this right now means something powerful is at play. The universe, God, your higher self, whatever you believe in, has led you to this exact moment, because it's time. Time for you to wake up to who you truly are. You've always felt different. Maybe you couldn't quite explain it. Maybe the people around you never really understood. But deep down, you've always known you were meant for something more. That your path, your purpose, your very existence isn't like everyone else's. This message is for you. And by the time you reach the end, you'll understand why you've always felt the way you do. This isn't just another video. This is confirmation. Confirmation of what your soul has been trying to tell you all along. You are one of the chosen ones. And once you recognize that truth, your life will never be the same. Listen closely, because what you're about to hear will shift how you see yourself forever. Everything you've gone through, every struggle, every challenge, every moment of feeling alone, none of it was random. It was preparation. You've been called to something greater, and if what I'm saying resonates with you, if you feel that deep inner pull, then you've been chosen since the very beginning. Before we dive into the 7 signs that prove this, I want you to do something. If you're feeling this energy, if your soul is lighting up right now, drop 777 in the comments. Let the universe know you're awake. And if you've been seeing numbers like 111 or 333, post that too. Those aren't just numbers. They're signs, signals that you're on the right path. I want to see how many of us are waking up together, right here, right now. The world is shifting. Whether people realize it or not, we're in the middle of a spiritual battle. Most can't see it. Most can't feel it. But the chosen ones can. You've always been sensitive to energy. You've always sensed that there's more going on beneath the surface. That's because your soul remembers. Remembers who you are, why you came here, and what you're meant to do. And now, it's time to fully wake up. You were meant to hear this today. Whether you've been searching for answers, or this just happened to pop up in front of you, there are forces in this world that don't want you to know your true power. They've tried to keep you small, tried to make you doubt yourself, tried to break you, but they couldn't. Because the truth is, a chosen one can never be defeated. The road hasn't been smooth, has it? You've gone through more than most people can even imagine. You've felt pain that words couldn't explain. Pain others couldn't begin to understand. And somewhere along the way, you asked yourself, why is life so much harder for me? But hear this. Those struggles were never meant to break you. They were meant to wake you. The ones with the deepest purpose are often the ones who face the toughest battles. Why? Because their mission is greater. So I need you to really listen now, because we're about to go deep. These 7 signs I'm about to share, they're not coincidences. They're not random quirks or personality traits. They're evidence of something bigger. They're signs of a divine calling. A calling that's been with you since the moment you entered this world. Some of you already sense you're different. You know you're chosen. This will confirm that. Others might have felt like the odd one out your whole life, never quite fitting in, but never understanding why. Well, that ends today. After this, there's no going back. Once the truth is revealed, you can't unknow it. You won't want to. You'll start seeing the signs everywhere. In your past, your choices, your pain, everything you've been through. It was preparing you. Every setback, every betrayal, every sleepless night of wondering where you belong. It was all shaping you into the person you're becoming right now. This is your moment, your awakening. So take a breath, open your heart, your mind, and your spirit. Because we're about to unlock something that's always been inside you, waiting. Let's begin. Sign number 1. You've always felt different. From as early as you can remember, you knew you didn't quite fit the mold. It wasn't something you chose. It just was. This deep, unshakable sense that you saw the world differently. You felt more. You questioned things others accepted without thought. You knew there was something more, even if you didn't have the words for it yet. As a kid, it may have been tough. Maybe you looked around and wondered why everyone else seemed so comfortable with routine, so willing to follow the rules without question. You, on the other hand, were searching, always searching. You didn't settle for surface-level answers. You needed to go deeper. You had to understand why things were the way they were, and maybe you even felt like the outsider in your own family. Not because you didn't love them, but because something about your way of thinking, feeling, or dreaming just didn't line up with theirs. No matter how hard you tried to explain yourself, they didn't always get it. You might have heard things like, "Why can't you just be normal?" or "You think too much." But deep down, you knew you weren't meant to be like them. Because the truth is, the chosen ones, they're always set apart. That's why, even as a kid, you might have felt like you didn't quite fit in, like you were on the outside looking in, not because there was anything wrong with you, but because the world around you wasn't built for someone like you. You came into this life with a deeper awareness, a stronger connection to what most people can't see. It's an energy others could sense. Sometimes they admired it, other times they just didn't know how to handle it. That feeling of being different wasn't just in your head. People noticed. Maybe they couldn't put their finger on it, but they could feel it. Some were drawn to you because they saw something special. Others, without even knowing why, kept their distance, or worse, tried to dim your light. And that's the thing about people like you, the ones who are chosen to carry a higher purpose. They naturally disrupt the status quo. Your presence makes people reflect on their own lives, and not everyone's ready for that. Think back. As a kid, were you more interested in deep conversations than in small talk? Did you feel more comfortable around older people? Did you prefer solitude over shallow group dynamics? Were you ever exhausted by pretending to be someone you weren't just to feel accepted? Those were never signs of weakness. They were signs of your power. But the world doesn't always know what to do with people like you. Society pressures everyone to fit into neat boxes, to play it safe, to go with the flow. And maybe you tried. For a while. Maybe you told yourself to blend in, to stay quiet, to ignore that voice inside you. But deep down, something wouldn't let you. That inner flame refused to die out. Because people like you were never meant to be silent. You were born to stand out. You weren't meant to follow the crowd. You were meant to lead it. You were made to see through the illusion, to break free from the chains that hold others back. And that's exactly why you felt out of place from the beginning. That feeling didn't fade as you grew older. If anything, it got louder. The more you woke up to your true self, the more you realized how little you cared for what most people chase: status, approval, mindless distractions. None of that ever fulfilled you. Your soul was always reaching for something more, something real. And sure, there were moments of doubt. Times you asked yourself, why do I feel so different? Why can't I just be like everyone else? But the real question is, why would you want to be? You weren't sent here to fit in. You were sent here to wake others up, to challenge the cycle, to bring light into places that have only ever known darkness. Here's the truth. The opposition knows who you are. The system recognizes your power. That's why you've been tested. That's why some people misunderstand you no matter how kind or loving you are. It's not about you, it's about the energy you carry. You shake people out of their comfort zones, and some aren't ready for that. Here's what you need to understand. Your uniqueness is your greatest strength. The very things that made you feel isolated or misunderstood, those are the exact things that make you chosen. The moments that made you question everything, those are the sparks that will set you free. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to stand out. You weren't here to repeat the past. You're here to break the cycle. You were never meant to live in someone else's illusion. You were meant to see the truth. And now it's time to own that fully. Stop shrinking yourself just to make others comfortable. Stop dimming your light just to blend in. And stop apologizing for being exactly who you are. You were chosen for a reason. And if this message is speaking to your soul, then you already know that. If you've felt this way for as long as you can remember, if you've always felt different, this is your confirmation. You were never crazy. You were never alone. You were never wrong for feeling what you felt. You were just waking up, ahead of the rest. Now it's time to step into your power. If this is hitting home for you, drop a 777 in the comments. Let the world know you were never meant to be like everyone else. If you've ever felt misunderstood, like the outsider, like you didn't belong, know this: you are not alone. The chosen ones are rising, and we see you. This is just the beginning. The first sign you were chosen from birth. You've always felt different. But that's only the beginning. Let's go deeper. Because once you recognize the signs, your self-doubt won't stand a chance. Sign number 2. Your intuition has always been strong. Even when you were too young to explain it, there was a knowing inside you, something deeper than logic, deeper than reason. You just knew things. You've sensed when something wasn't right without any proof. You've felt people's energy before they even spoke. Your gut has guided you, protected you, and more often than not, it's been spot on. That's not random. That's not a coincidence. That's a gift. Being chosen means you're connected to something greater, your higher self, a deeper truth, divine intelligence. While most people rely only on what they can see or hear, you've always trusted something deeper, something unseen, but impossible to ignore. Think about it. How many times have you had a bad feeling about someone, only to later discover they weren't who they said they were? How often have you sensed something big was coming, good or bad, before it happened? How many times have you looked at a situation and just known the truth, even when no one else could see it? That's your gift. That's the sign. You were chosen. The chosen ones have always had a deeper sense of intuition. It's like you were born with spiritual vision, tapped into something greater, even before you fully understood it. You've always been able to sense shifts in energy, no matter how subtle. You can feel the truth behind people's words, pick up on what's left unsaid. You don't just listen, you feel. That's why it's so hard for people to lie to you. Even if they say all the right things, something in your gut tells you when something's off. You can walk into a room and immediately feel if the vibe is right or not. You can sense when someone is putting on a mask, when someone's silently draining your energy, when someone is smiling at you but secretly resents you. You don't need proof. You just know. And let me be clear. That intuition has saved you more times than you can count. Sure, maybe you didn't always listen to it. Maybe you second-guessed it, ignored it, or let others talk you out of it. And every time you did, you ended up regretting it. Because your intuition, it's never wrong. And that's because it doesn't come from your mind. It comes from your soul. It's divine guidance. It protects you. It leads you to the truth. But here's the thing. Having this kind of gift is both powerful and isolating. Most people don't have it. Most people only trust what they can see and touch. They don't feel energy like you do. They don't understand how you just know things without evidence. And because of that, you've probably been labeled crazy at some point. People have brushed off your instincts, told you you're being paranoid, dramatic, or too sensitive. But you were never paranoid. You were just ahead of them. You've always seen things before they became obvious, felt the shift before the storm hit. While others stayed stuck in illusions, you were tuned into the truth behind the curtain. That's what makes your intuition more than just a tool. It's your armor in a world that's full of hidden agendas and half-truths. It keeps you from falling into the traps that others don't even see. It shields you from manipulators, emotional leeches, and situations that were never meant for you. It pulls you back to your path when the world tries to steer you off course. Have you ever just known someone was going to leave your life before they actually did? Felt the shift in a relationship, even when everything looked fine on the surface? That was your intuition warning you, giving you a heads up before the fallout. That's the universe's way of preparing you, so you're never caught off guard. But here's the hard part. Not everyone is ready for the truth you carry. There have been moments when you spoke up, gave someone a warning, told them what you felt, and they weren't ready to hear it. They called you negative, dramatic. They dismissed you. Then, later, when everything you said came true, you didn't even need to say, "I told you so," because you already knew. You weren't trying to be right. You were just trying to protect them. You were trying to help. This is why, now more than ever, you have to trust your intuition. The world is loud, full of distractions, false promises, and illusions designed to pull you off track. But your spirit knows better. Deep down, it always knows the truth. And the more you listen to that inner voice, the louder and clearer it gets. The more you trust it, the more guidance you'll receive. That's how you align with your purpose. Most people wish they had this kind of insight. They wish they could see through lies the way you do. They wish they could dodge the wrong people, the wrong choices, the heartbreak. But this is your gift. And if you ignore it, if you doubt it, you're turning your back on one of the most powerful abilities you were born with. So, from this moment forward, make yourself a promise. Stop second-guessing what you feel. Stop looking outside for answers your soul already knows. If your intuition is telling you something, believe it the first time. It's not just a gut feeling. It's a message, one that's meant to protect you, guide you, and pull you toward your highest purpose. If your intuition has always been strong, if you've felt things before they happened, if you've always sensed the truth even when no one else could, drop 111 in the comments. Let the universe know you're awake. Acknowledge that power inside you. You weren't chosen by accident. You weren't sent here to stay blind. You were sent here to see. And now, let's go deeper. Because if your intuition has always been sharp, that means one thing. You've been fighting spiritual battles your entire life. Sign in number 3. You've endured countless spiritual attacks. If you're one of the chosen ones, you already know your life has never been easy. From the very start, you've been fighting battles most people couldn't survive. You've been tested, broken, and pushed to your limits again and again. And I'm here to tell you, it's not random. It's not bad luck. It's because the moment you were born, the enemy knew exactly who you were. The darkness recognized your light before you even understood your own strength. That's why you've been under attack since day one. Not because you're weak, but because you're powerful. The enemy doesn't waste energy on people who don't matter. The system doesn't try to silence those who pose no threat. But you, You were born to wake up, to break free, to lead. And that's exactly why the resistance has been so intense. Here's what nobody tells you. The fact that you're under constant attack is the clearest sign that you're chosen. People don't waste time trying to destroy something that doesn't matter. No one goes after someone who isn't a threat. The reason the enemy keeps coming for you? Your light is too bright. And let's be real. I know it hasn't been easy. There were moments when you wanted to give up, when you felt exhausted, lost, worn down to your core. Maybe you even questioned your purpose, wondering if any of this was worth it. But here's what you need to understand. You were never meant to lose. These battles weren't sent to break you. They were sent to build you. Every fight, every setback, every dark night has been shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you for what's coming next. Because the truth is this: the enemy wouldn't be fighting you this hard unless something powerful was on the horizon. They know you're about to rise. They know you're about to step fully into who you were born to be. They're only fighting this hard because they're scared. But look at you. You're still standing, still pushing, still searching for truth. That alone says everything. You've already won. Now it's time to fight back. But not with hate, not with revenge, not with bitterness. This fight, it's spiritual. And the way you win is by standing firm in your truth, by refusing to be broken, by walking in your purpose with your head high and your heart wide open. The moment you stop letting fear run your life, the moment you stop believing the lies they planted in your mind, the moment you fully accept that you were chosen, the attacks lose their grip. Because here's the truth they never wanted you to discover. You were always stronger than them. That's why they came for you so early. That's why they tried to break you before you even knew your own strength. Because the moment you realize who you are, truly realize it, nothing can stop you. So, if you've been under attack, if you've faced battles most people wouldn't survive, if you've lived through things that should have destroyed you but didn't, then this is your confirmation. You are not a victim. You are not weak. You are not cursed. You are chosen. And those battles, they weren't meant to end you. They were preparing you for everything that's next. Drop a 333 in the comments if you've made it through the kind of pain only a chosen one could endure. If you've been betrayed, knocked down, written off, but still found a way to rise. Let the universe know. You're still here. You're still standing, and nothing will stop you. Now let's take it even deeper. Because if you've been under spiritual attack, chances are you've also felt something else, a heightened sensitivity to energy. And that brings us to the next undeniable sign that you were chosen from the very beginning. Take a moment and look back on your life. Think about all the times you've gone through things that felt impossible to survive. How many nights have you asked yourself, why is life so hard for me? Why do I have to go through so much pain? The truth is, you were chosen, and the ones who are chosen get tested the hardest. You've been through battles most people couldn't even begin to understand. Maybe you were born into chaos, into a toxic environment, surrounded by people who tried to dim your light before you even knew you had one. Maybe you were isolated, misunderstood, made to feel like you didn't belong, even by the people who were supposed to love you the most. Maybe the ones you trusted with everything, your friends, family, partners, turned around and betrayed you. You gave them your love, your loyalty, your energy, and they gave you pain in return. But none of that was random. It was designed to break you, to make you question who you are, to make you doubt your value and your purpose. The enemy wanted you to believe you were alone, forgotten, unworthy. But here's the thing. You're still standing, and that alone proves they didn't win. Every time life tried to take you out, it only made you stronger, and what you need to realize is this. These battles weren't just physical, they were spiritual. That's why, even when everything looked fine on the outside, it still felt like you were fighting a war inside. You've been attacked in your mind, your emotions, your peace, depression, anxiety, fear, self-doubt. These weren't just feelings. They were weapons meant to keep you from stepping into your power. Let's talk about your dreams for a second. If you've ever had sleep paralysis, dark dreams, or strange visions, those weren't random. Spiritual warfare is real, and your soul has always been tuned into that deeper realm. The stronger your spirit, the bigger your destiny, and the more the darkness tries to stop you. Have you noticed how every time you start gaining momentum, something comes out of nowhere to knock you off track? Just when you feel like you're finally stepping into your purpose, something happens to shake you. Just when you're starting to heal, someone betrays you again. That's not coincidence. That's spiritual interference, because the enemy is terrified of you waking up to who you really are. Every time you get close to breaking through, something shows up to break you down. Sign number 4. You're deeply empathetic and sensitive to energy. You don't just hear people, you feel them. You don't just notice what's happening. You pick up on the vibe underneath it all. Even as a kid, you sensed things others couldn't explain. You felt emotions that didn't belong to you. You'd walk into a room and instantly know if something was off, long before anyone said a word. That's not coincidence. That's a gift. Being chosen doesn't just mean you're spiritually awake. It means you're empathic on another level. You don't just watch the world go by. You absorb it. You feel everything so intensely. It can be overwhelming. You know when someone's lying, even if their words sound polished. You can tell when someone's in pain, even if they're smiling. You pick up on the unspoken tension in a room. Even when no one's arguing, your spirit picks up energy before your brain can even explain what's going on. This deep empathy is one of your greatest strengths. But let's be real. It can also be one of your biggest struggles. Feeling everything so intensely isn't easy. There have been times you've left a room feeling completely drained, unsure why you were suddenly anxious, sad, or tired, only to realize later that you were absorbing what others were carrying. But here's the thing. Chosen ones aren't just sensitive to energy. They transform it. You don't just feel the pain in the world. You try to heal it. You don't just notice suffering. You try to solve it. You're the one people turn to when they're hurting. The one who listens when no one else will. The one who gives without expecting anything back. And because of that, yeah, you've been used. You've been taken for granted. You've been drained by people who didn't value the light you brought into their lives. But let this sink in. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It's your superpower. You were given this gift for a reason. To guide, to heal, to lift others higher. You feel so deeply because you were never meant to live on the surface. You were born to see through illusions. That's why fake conversations, fake connections, and fake energy don't sit right with you. You see through it all, instantly. And those who try to fool you, they always reveal themselves. Eventually. Because chosen ones carry spiritual discernment, a divine inner knowing that sees truth and deception, light and shadow, real and fake. But here's what you must remember. When you carry this kind of empathy, you have to protect your energy. Not everyone deserves access to it. Not everyone is worthy of your kindness, your time, your attention. And if you're honest, you've learned that the hard way. How many times have you given your energy to someone, only to walk away feeling completely drained? How many times have you stayed in a relationship or situation out of love, compassion, or hope, only to realize you were being used? You've got a heart that wants to heal, but here's the truth. Not everyone wants to be healed. Some people are only here to take. Some will drain you without a second thought. Some will cling to your light because they have none of their own. That's why boundaries are essential, especially for someone like you. You have to protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. You can't pour into others when your own cup is empty. You can't help heal the world if you're constantly exhausted, broken, or burned out. Start tuning into how you feel after you've been around people. Do you feel lighter, more inspired, more alive? Or do you feel heavy, tired, and drained? Your body and spirit are already telling you who belongs in your life and who doesn't. And I get it. It's not easy. As an empath, you want to help everyone. You want to heal everyone. You want to be there for others and give them the kind of love and understanding you may have never received yourself. But some people don't want to be saved. Some will keep draining you just to keep themselves full. Some will take advantage of your kindness because they see your energy as something they can use endlessly. But let me tell you something real. Your energy is sacred. Your presence is a privilege. Your light is a gift. Not everyone deserves access to it. Once you understand that, everything changes. From now on, I need you to start trusting what your spirit is telling you. If someone's energy feels off, trust that. If a situation feels like it's sucking the life out of you, leave. If your intuition is waving red flags, believe it the first time. You were given this gift for a reason. Empaths are healers. But you've got to learn how to protect yourself first. You can't save everyone, but you can save yourself from the ones who only know how to take. Your gift is powerful, but it only works when you use it with wisdom. So let me ask you, have you always felt the energy in a room? Picked up on the truth before anyone said a word? Carried emotions that weren't even yours? If that sounds like you, then you are one of the chosen ones. And it's time to embrace your gift without letting it destroy you. Drop a 444 in the comments if this speaks to you. Let the universe know you recognize your power and that you're ready to protect it. Now let's go a little deeper. If you've always been highly sensitive to energy, then chances are you've also experienced something else, something that's impossible to ignore: divine synchronicities. Sign number 5. You've experienced powerful synchronicities. By now, you've probably realized that there really aren't any coincidences in your life. Maybe you used to think things just happened, but too many moments have lined up too perfectly for it to be random. You felt it. Those unmistakable signs, those numbers, those moments where the universe clearly speaks to you. These aren't accidents. They're synchronicities. And if you're seeing them often, it means you're in alignment with something greater than yourself. You're walking a guided path, even if you don't fully understand where it's leading just yet. Think about it. Have you ever had a thought, and suddenly the answer appears right in front of you? Have you ever been stuck on a decision, only for a sign to show up at the exact moment you needed it? Or maybe you've been thinking about someone and out of nowhere, they call or text you. That's not just chance. That's the universe, your higher self, your guides, sending you a message. People on a divine path experience synchronicities more often because they're not just drifting through life. They're here for a reason. And when you're on a mission, the universe will leave breadcrumbs, little clues to let you know you're not alone, that you're on track. One of the clearest ways these synchronicities show up is through numbers. If you keep seeing repeating numbers like 111, 222, 333, 777, or 1111. Pay attention. Those aren't just random, they're messages. Here's what those numbers are telling you. 111. You're stepping into a new spiritual awakening. Your thoughts are becoming reality fast. So be intentional about where you place your focus. 222. It's all about balance, trust, and alignment. Even if you can't see it, the universe is working behind the scenes. 333. You're being protected and guided. Your spiritual team is surrounding you right now, especially during challenges. 777. A sign that you're exactly where you need to be. You're evolving, and your intuition is leading you in the right direction. 1111. This is a wake-up call. You're being reminded of your higher purpose, why you're really here. These numbers you keep seeing, they're not just random. They're messages. The universe is reaching out, trying to grab your attention, guiding you towards something meaningful. And the more you start to notice them, the more aligned you become with your true path. But synchronicities aren't just about numbers. They show up everywhere, through conversations, dreams, lyrics, symbols. Have you ever been deep in thought, only for a stranger to say exactly what you needed to hear? Or maybe you felt completely lost, and suddenly a song played that hit you right in the heart. Maybe you've seen the same word, the same symbol, the same message again and again, until it finally made you stop and pay attention. That's the universe talking to you, not with words, but through perfect timing. It places the right people, the right signs, the right moments in your path, exactly when you need them. And when you start becoming more aware, you realize none of it was random. Every struggle, every delay, every closed door, it was all part of your journey. All of it was leading you somewhere bigger. And every time you started to lose hope, the universe sent a reminder. You're not alone. But here's the thing about synchronicities. You've got to be present to recognize them. Too many people miss the signs because they're waiting for something big, something dramatic. But the universe doesn't usually shout. It whispers. It nudges. It drops little hints. And if you're not tuned in, you'll miss them. Because the universe won't force you to see what you're not ready for. So ask yourself, how many times has the universe tried to get through to you? How many signs have you brushed off as coincidence? How many moments were too perfectly timed to just be chance? It's time to stop second-guessing. It's time to trust the signs. If you've been seeing synchronicities, take it as confirmation. You are on the right path. You are in alignment with something far greater than yourself. You are being guided step by step toward your higher purpose. And here's something powerful you might not know. You can ask for signs. If you're feeling unsure, if you need direction, just ask. Say, if this is meant for me, show me a sign. Then stay open, pay attention. The sign will come. It always does. Because when you are one of the chosen, the universe will speak to you. The real question is, are you listening? Drop a 777 in the comments if you've been seeing powerful synchronicities lately. If numbers, symbols, dreams, or divine messages have been guiding your steps, show the universe that you see them. And now, let's go even deeper. Because if you've been experiencing synchronicities, chances are you've also felt something else. A deep, unshakable pull toward truth, toward something spiritual. Sign number 6. You've always felt drawn to something deeper, something beyond what meets the eye. Even before you had the words for it, before you even knew what spirituality was, there was a part of you that was searching for truth. You could feel it. You just knew there was more to life than what you were being shown. You've never been someone who could just accept things at face value. While others were content with simple explanations, you were the one always asking, "But why?" You needed to dig deeper. That hunger for truth is one of the clearest signs that you were chosen from birth. Chosen ones are seekers. They don't just go with the flow or follow the crowd. They question everything: life, reality, the system, religion, history. They feel a powerful inner drive to uncover what's real and what's been hidden. Think back to when you were a kid. Did the world around you ever feel off? Like things just didn't make sense? Maybe you looked around and wondered why everyone seemed obsessed with material stuff or stuck in routines that felt empty. While others were distracted by the surface, you were already searching for something more. You've probably asked yourself questions most people avoid. Why are we here? What happens after we die? Who's really pulling the strings in this world? From a young age, you felt a pull toward the unseen, the mystical, the spiritual. While others were chasing trends, you were chasing meaning. That's why you've never really fit inside a box. You couldn't just follow a path because someone said this is how it's done. You needed to understand the why behind it. That curiosity, that refusal to settle, is what sets you apart. That's the mark of someone who was chosen to walk a different path, someone whose soul came here to remember. And here's the deeper truth. You've always felt a connection to something greater, even if you weren't raised in a religious environment. Even if you couldn't quite explain it, you've always sensed a higher power guiding you. And as you awaken more, that connection gets stronger. You've probably noticed that material things don't hold the same weight anymore. Money, status, possessions, they just don't light you up the way they once did. That's because your soul is craving something richer: wisdom, purpose, truth. You're being drawn to ancient teachings, spiritual texts, and hidden knowledge. You might find yourself exploring meditation, energy work, the laws of the universe, or the deeper nature of consciousness. Maybe you feel an unexplainable connection to nature, the stars, or something far beyond the physical world. But the truth is, this isn't new for you. Your soul has been on this path for lifetimes. That's why it feels so natural. That's why when you learn something spiritual, it doesn't feel like new information. It feels like remembering. Let's talk about something real, your spiritual awakening, because if you're watching this, chances are you've already been through one. And let's be honest, it probably wasn't easy. For most chosen ones, the awakening is anything but gentle. It often begins after deep pain, after everything you thought you knew starts to crumble. It's not just a shift, it's a total breakdown. You lose people. You lose old beliefs. You begin to see the world for what it really is. And that clarity, it can hit hard. But once you wake up, there's no going back. You can't unsee the truth. You can't pretend anymore. Yeah, it gets lonely sometimes. But hear me when I say this. You are not alone. That pull you feel toward spirituality, toward truth, toward higher wisdom, it's not random. It's your soul speaking. You're here to guide others. Your path isn't just about your own growth. It's about lighting the way for those who are still asleep. And that's exactly why the world tries to keep you distracted. Why society numbs people with noise, fear, and fake priorities. Because if everyone woke up, the illusion would fall apart. That's why the chosen ones are waking up first. Because we're the ones meant to lead. So let me ask you this. Have you always felt connected to something deeper? Have you always questioned the world around you, even when others didn't? Have you always searched for meaning in places most people never look? If you're nodding right now, this is your confirmation. You're not just another person out here. You're here on a mission. Drop 555 in the comments if you feel this in your soul. If you've spent your life looking for answers, if you've been pulled towards spirituality in ways you can't even explain, let the universe know you are awake. And now, let's go deeper. Because if you've always felt this spiritual pull, there's another sign you've probably experienced, and it's a big one. Sign number 7. You've always had a deep sense of purpose. Even before you could put it into words, you knew you were meant for more. You've never been okay with just getting by. You couldn't fake it like everyone else. You were born for something greater, and you've always felt it. Even in your hardest moments, when life felt impossible, there was still something inside you that refused to quit. Something whispering, "Keep going. There's more waiting for you." And that voice? That's your soul remembering exactly why you're here. From early on, you probably had this sense deep down that you were meant for something more. Maybe you didn't know exactly what it was, or how you'd get there, but you couldn't shake the feeling that you were here for a reason, and you were right. People who are called, chosen, they don't come into this world just to survive. They come with a purpose, something bigger than themselves. That's why, no matter how many times life tried to break you, it couldn't. Think back. How many times have you gone through things that should have crushed you? How many times did you hit rock bottom, only to come back stronger? How many times did you feel like quitting? But something inside you kept pushing you forward. That's not just grit. That's divine protection. That's purpose refusing to let you give up. And yeah, it gets frustrating sometimes. It can feel like you're walking through life searching for something just out of reach. You might still be figuring it out. You might not have a clear map of where you're going. But here's the thing. You don't need to have all the answers right now. The fact that you feel the pull, that you know there's something more, that's your confirmation. That means you're already on the path. Because the truth is, your purpose has been inside you all along, since the day you were born. You don't have to chase it. You just have to wake up to it. Every setback, every heartbreak, every lesson, it's been shaping you. Nothing you've been through was wasted. The pain, the isolation, the battles, they were preparing you for what's ahead. Because people with a calling, they're not just called, they're tested. And when you make it through those tests, you step into your real power. Maybe you've always felt drawn to help others, to lead, to heal, to guide people through their pain. Maybe you've had glimpses of yourself in the future, standing tall, doing work that matters, changing lives. That's not a fantasy. That's your future calling out to you. But listen, your purpose won't fully show up for you if you keep doubting yourself. It won't land in your lap if you're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect sign. You have to start moving in it, even if you don't feel 100% ready. Because the truth is, you're ready. You were born ready. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need the stars to align. You don't need everything to be flawless before you take the first step. You just need to start walking. It's time to stop hiding. Time to stop second-guessing yourself. Time to stop asking whether you're meant for something bigger. Because deep down, you already know the truth. You are. Here's the most powerful part. Your purpose isn't just about you. It's about the people you're meant to reach, the lives you're meant to impact, the souls you're here to awaken. Think about it. How many people out there are still lost, still stuck in the dark, still searching for something real? And yet, here you are, awake, aware, rising. You can't play small anymore. The world needs you to step into who you truly are. If you've always felt a sense of purpose, even when you couldn't explain it, if you've always known deep in your core that you were made for more, if you've felt that pull, that calling, that unshakable knowing that you were meant to make a difference. This is your confirmation. You were never meant to fit in. You weren't made to follow the crowd. You were born to lead, to heal, to awaken, to rise. Drop a 999 in the comments if you feel this in your bones. If you're ready to step into your calling, let the universe know you're ready, because this is just the beginning. You've seen all 7 signs. You know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you were chosen from the start. So the question is, what now? Will you keep living like you don't know who you are, doubting your gifts, shrinking your light? Or will you finally own your power and rise? Because the time is now. The world is shifting. The chosen are waking up. And if you're still here, still reading this, you're one of them. No more waiting, no more hiding. You've seen the signs. You've felt the energy. And deep in your soul, you know this message was meant for you. This isn't just another post. This is your confirmation. You were never average. You were never meant to be like everyone else. You were set apart from the start. You were chosen. And now it's time to become who you truly are. The world is waking up. The veil is lifting. And those who are ready are being called to rise. And if you're still reading, you already know. You're one of them. So here's the real question. What are you going to do with this knowledge? Because knowing you're chosen, that's just the beginning. Recognizing the signs, not enough. Feeling the shift, the energy, the calling, still not enough. You have to act. You have to own it. You have to step into the power that's been inside you all along and start living like the person you were always meant to be. No more second-guessing yourself. No more hiding parts of who you are to make others comfortable. No more playing it small. That season is over. You've been prepared for this moment. Your entire life, every setback, every heartbreak, every lesson. It was all shaping you, building you, training you to become what you were always destined to be. A warrior, a healer, a leader. It's time to stop running from your truth. If you've always felt different, it's because you were meant to be different. If your intuition has always been strong, it's because you were given vision. If you've been under spiritual attack, it's because your light was recognized, even before you recognized it yourself. If you felt deeply, sensed things others couldn't, it's because you were born to heal. If the universe has shown you signs, synchronicities, and moments of undeniable clarity, it's because it's been guiding you all along. And if you've always felt like you had a bigger purpose, it's because you do. So now it's decision time. You can walk away. Pretend this message didn't find you. Pretend you don't feel the fire building inside you. Or you can step forward. You can decide right here and now that you are done doubting yourself, that you're ready to fully embrace who you are, that you're ready to live your purpose. Because here's the truth they don't tell you. Once a chosen one wakes up, nothing can stop them. The world might try to keep you asleep, but it's too late. You see the truth now. You feel the pull, and you can't ignore it anymore. From this moment on, walk like you know who you are. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are exactly where you're meant to be. Every challenge, every breakthrough, every quiet moment of growth, it's all been leading to this. This is the beginning of your next chapter. This time, you won't shrink. This time, you won't hesitate. This time, you rise. Drop 777 in the comments if you're ready to claim your power. If you know in your soul you were made for more, let the universe know you're awake now. The chosen ones are rising. And if you've made it this far, it means you're one of us. The world has been waiting for you. It's time. Step into your destiny. This is just the beginning.